Hi, welcome back to my podcast. For those who don't know me, my name is Marikia, and so today we're actually going to talk about something differently. It's actually something that I was thinking about. I actually thought about this like 2 to 3 days ago. It's just this thought that was running in my head. I don't know about you, but usually when I think of something, this is how I go about it. I bring it up on here because you never know who am I help or who am I touch or who am I allowed to see life or see things from a different point of view, or I don't know, but this is something that I thought about. And just remember, in my every podcast, what I say is the fact that this is life from my perspective, mine, which means you're not included in it. So you can have your own point of view, and it's not like I even need to give you permission for it because you already have your own point of view. So this is my personal point of view, and I don't expect you to believe it. I don't expect you to think what I think. I don't expect you to actually even act upon what I think, because God created us different for a reason. And anybody who should tell you otherwise or who should try to impose their ways on you, then they're not truly the type of people I personally would say that you need to keep yourself surrounded with. Because if somebody cannot accept you for who you are, then they're not really meant for you. And I don't mean this in the way of dating or in courtship or anything like that. I mean this in ways of even friendship, on a friendship level, which basically sums up to what I'm about to talk about. So I have noticed, I've come to actually notice, and I've seen how people, friendship actually tend to grow apart. And some people can actually just grow apart because people grow up and we start being interested in different things. So growing apart is essential, and it just happens. It's not something that you plan. It's not something that you sit around and you call each other and you beef about it and you talk bad about each other. So you're like, you know what, from now on you're not my friend. From now on, go your way, I go my way. Now that's childish stuff. Mature ways of actually realizing that you're not friends is just because we have different ways of living, and we have different ways of how we look at things, and we have different ways that literally don't align with one another. So it's just we grow apart. But it doesn't mean that if I meet you in public that I will not greet you. If I meet you in public, I will not say hi to you. If I meet you in public, matter of fact, that we can't still goof around and we can't joke around, because we can still do the same. But the idea of the fact that with that close BFF, whatever they call it, so BFF, that ride and die and everything, no, we're no longer that. We're no longer that kind of stuff. So the other day, I remember one of my friends called me, and they were going on and on about how they gave their friend an advice which they didn't take, and that seemed to be a big deal. And what this made me realize actually in that moment is how some people's friendships are based on whether somebody can align within the way that they see things and within the way that they believe that things should go. Because that's not how life goes. Like, you can't tell me that you can only be my friend only if I take your piece of advice. So if I don't take your piece of advice, that means we're no longer friends. Then, to be honest, in that moment, you're better off as not being my friend, because just because I don't take your advice, it doesn't automatically mean that I don't still need you in my life as a friend. We see things from a different point of view, and sometimes people need to understand that people who are seeking advice, they're going through a certain thing that's making them feel like they need advice from you. But for you to expect the fact that they're going to take your advice based on how you see it, based on how you think about it, that's wrong. Because at the end of the day, remember, they're the ones who are going through whatever they're going through. So, and you're out of the box. You're literally looking things from outside. You're not inside. No matter how much you think or you feel like you can relate to whatever that person is going through, you can only relate. There's a difference between relating and being in that situation and going through what that person is going through. So yes, I do appreciate your advice. Yes, they do appreciate for the fact that you're even thinking about them, that you're even giving them advice. But for you to think that they're going to go on and do exactly what you advise them to do, that's wrong. You know, as friends, I'm going to put myself in that equation as well, because I'm a friend of somebody too. So as friends, we should not give up on our friends just because they don't listen to me, you know. And then the worst part is we even give them taunts. We even like start telling, you know, if something bad happens when they didn't follow your advice, you'd be like, I told you so, you didn't listen to me, you didn't listen. See, now it's happening to you. Nah, that's not what friends do. Like, if you're a friend to somebody, despite whether they take your advice or not, and things end up working well or not, you should still be able to go ahead. Don't give up. Still give them advice even when they come back to you. Because what I said, it's important to honestly contemplate and to understand the fact that it's easy to give advice when you're not going through something. But for those people who are going through anything they're seeking advice for, it's really hard for them to actually pull themselves out. Because having your mind and your heart telling you two different things, it's like you're battling with yourself, and then you have to battle with somebody who's really genuine about you, who's giving you the advice. It's just like you want to follow stuff. You think that you can be happy from what your mind and heart are telling you. You know, you can listen to me, but you can only be the only one to take yourself out of a situation, you know. So yes, I'm your friend, I'm gonna give you advice based on what I think, but do I expect you to take the advice? Honestly speaking, I don't know if this is weird, but I don't know about you, but I can only give you advice based on what I think and based on what I see. But for me to expect you to take the advice, it's not. No. And am I going to stop giving you advice regardless? No, I'm not. Because you trust me enough to come to me for advice, then I'm going to give it to you, you know. So yes, I will not, because I feel like some people's friendship are dependent on the fact that can they become who I am. I don't know if you just understood what I just said. So basically, your advice sometimes is based on who you are as a person. It's based on your values, your morals. So, and another thing you need to understand, that the other person has different values, different morals. Where you feel like, they did me dirty, I can't talk to them anymore, they did this, I can't associate myself with them anymore. The other person might be like, they did me dirty, but it doesn't faze me, you know. They did me dirty, but at the end of the day, they're the ones who have to be accountable for it. So it didn't really affect me that much. So why should I not talk to them? That's their problem. If they know how to be fake and still be friends with me, then I don't have a problem being friends with them. But you're the type of person who be like, I can't handle fake people. I can't deal with fake people. I can't associate myself with fake people. So you're going to take the response that best suits you as a person, because that's who you are, you know, that's who you are. But for you to expect your friend or anybody that you advise to do something, to act accordingly to how you act, to believe what you believe, is actually insane. It's insane, to be honest. It is insane, and it's honestly, it's not fair. So if you're a type of friend, if you have a friend who's like that, you just need to question yourself and think, or if you are the friend who is like that, you just gotta think, how would I feel if somebody is trying to change who I am? You know, they say that what you can't do to yourself, what you cannot allow to happen to you, or what you can't allow upon yourself, don't allow it on somebody else. So for those people, I know giving advice is beautiful, you know, people having somebody that you can rely on is beautiful, but can I rely on you in the midst of the fact that even when I don't listen to what you tell me, you're still going to show up? You're still going to be there for me? because you just gotta understand that I got my own flaws, but it doesn't mean that I don't need you. I still need you in other ways, in many ways in life. It's just I'm just weak at this moment, and I just want to feel, I'm just overwhelmed, and I just want to go about things the way my heart is telling me to go about it. It's not like I don't respect your advice. It's not like I don't respect what you're telling me and I don't want to listen to you. I do, but I am a human who have emotions and my mind telling me different things. So can I rely on you as a best friend, as a partner, don't judge your friends. Like, honestly, people who are out there being like, sometimes you have people who will actually mock your friends, or even who will actually condemn your friends and be telling you like, aren't you friends with that person? Why does she carry herself like that? What is she even doing? And then you stand there and be like, yeah, I told them, man, they're just too hard. You literally go ahead and be part of that conversation. You even give them something more about that person that you shouldn't be giving them to begin with. Instead, so basically you're becoming as judgmental as they are about the person that you know better than they do. They might just see the surface of the person and start judging them, but as a person who knows them deeper than anybody else, why are you entertaining the conversation? Why are you not cutting the conversation off just because you told them so and you think they should have gone the way you told them to go about it? Doesn't mean they needed to go about it. Regardless of the fact, if you really care about that person and if you really think that person means anything to you, don't let your friendship be dependent on the fact that they're taking my advice or not. With or without your advice being taken, you can still be friends. You can still respect each other. It's that simple. So I don't know why, but I felt really strong to share this message, because I feel like a lot of people's friendship or relationships, let's just say relationships in general, or any kind of relationship, get stuffed up on that level, because people think that just because I gave you advice, you have to take it. That shows you listen to me. People are so focused on the fact that somebody listens to them that they forget what the other person is going through. They forget what they're feeling in that moment, and they forget that they also have their own self that also is giving them advice, and that it's so hard to fight that one self that is within you, that's literally giving you all different type of advice that you don't know what to do with them. You're so filled with so much in you, and then when something else from outside pops in and is given to you, it's just so hard. So for those friends who literally give your friend advice, please don't stop. If you're one that don't listen, I know it can be tough. I'm also one of those people, like, I can be really tough and I don't want to listen to you, and sometimes I will give you the advice. But one thing good about me, I'm gonna say it in this podcast, I honestly don't mind if you don't listen to my advice, because I can only say what I gotta say. Now, how you act upon what I told you, that's on you. But it doesn't stop me from being your friend, and it doesn't stop me from caring about you, and it doesn't stop me from loving you. I can only give you what you've asked for. How you use it, it's up to you. It's just like the way, I'm just gonna use this example, it's just like the way when you go to a doctor's and they give you medication. They tell you what to do with that medication, but whether you take those medication or not, it's up to you. The doctor is not going to come and force you to take the medication if you don't want to take the medication, but they won't stop being your doctor as well. They're going to still be your doctor whether you take the medication or not, because tomorrow you're going to get sick, you're going to go back to the hospital, and they're the ones who are going to treat you still the same. So it's the same here. Personally, that's how I see things. Like, I can only give you what I have. How you use it, that's on you. Whether it's advice or anything, how you go about it, it's on you. But it doesn't stop me from caring. It doesn't stop me from loving you. It doesn't stop me from doing anything. So for those friends who think that you can sit around and mock your friend within the group, or actually condemn them as well because they didn't listen to you, I think you might want to rethink about what you mean, but when somebody actually considers you something important or considers you a friend. Because your friendship should never be dependent on the fact that they took my advice. They didn't listen to me. What's even the point? Keep giving it, The doctor will keep giving you the medication until you learn how to take it. So keep giving those advices because you never know. You never know when she can defeat the devil in her or in him to the point where they're now able to take in the advice that you've been giving them. So, piece of advice again, listen to me. Don't listen to me. At the end of the day, what I give and how you use it, it's up to you. Okay? So just don't give up on your friends, people. Literally, don't give up. Don't give up on your friends. Don't give up on your relationship just because, little things here and there have been happening. So it feels like I've already given you an advice through this podcast, but whether you use it or take it, again, that's up to you. So, and just remember, it's life from my perspective, and I don't expect you to think the same way. At the end of the day, remember, God did create us differently for a reason. So you want to stay your way and you want to continue, whatever you're doing in your friendship in the way that you're doing it, and it's working out for you, great for you, but just be authentic. That's all I can say. Be real, be authentic with people that you care about, with people that you love. Don't fake it with them, Don't fake it with them because the world already thinks that they're fake. The world is already giving them different names that they don't have. The last thing they want is the person who truly knows them to also think the same about them. So, cheers, and I hope you enjoyed this one. Once again, it's an advice that you don't have to take. See ya.